Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany. I am an American expat living in Greece. I have lived in Greece almost a year, but we'll get to that in just a second. Really quickly, I wanted to tell you about a change here on YouTube that I happened to notice a notification for in my, the back end of YouTube. They're no longer going to be emailing people when new videos from channels that you have subscribed to come out. I noticed this last week. I subscribed to my own channel so that way I know if something goes wrong, and I never got that email. And then I happened to notice the notification in my back end. So that means when I get a new video that comes out, if you're not using YouTube on your phone or a tablet, or you're actively in YouTube on your desktop browser, then you may not know that I have a new video coming out. So I think I've noticed that. My views are down for each individual video, and I think that that's because people are not getting notified that I have new videos coming out. So a good way to keep up with that, since I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, I can't have a community tab where I tell you these when new ones come out. But a good way to get around that is to either follow me on Instagram or follow my Facebook page. On Instagram, I always go on after the video has been put out and include a link in my bio, and I say something in my stories. And then on Facebook, I always post a link there. And the links to both of my Instagram and my Facebook are in the description box below, and they're always there. All right, so big week for me for a multitude of reasons. One, a year ago today, I was getting on a plane to move to Greece. I got on a plane in Dallas, where I'm from, and I flew to Doha, and then from Doha, I flew to Athens. I know it seems like a really long way to go to come here, but there was a couple of reasons for that. One is that the ticket price was much cheaper to do a one-way ticket on Qatar Airways than it was anyone else. I used to also live in Qatar, so stopping there wasn't a big deal. I lived there for 4 years, so it was kind of like going home for a little bit. So that's the reason I did that. I actually got to Greece on the 27th of August last year because it takes so long to do all that. It took me like a whole 24 hours to get here, but totally worth it. Worth every minute on that plane. As with most of us, this year has been interesting, and not just because of the pandemic. When I first came to Greece, I intended to live in Naxos, which is an island, and I will link to the blog post of my apartment hunting, not blog post, my video there up in the card above, and just so you can kind of see the difference between this apartment and that apartment. But I didn't end up staying in that apartment for very long. I think I was only there for about a month. I had issues with the landlord. Basically, here in Greece, we have air conditioners that are pretty common all over Europe. So there's like a wall unit, and then it connects to an outside compressor, and that compressor can be, it's very small. It's not like in the US where they have centralized air conditioning, so the compressor is very large, and then you have all this ductwork. So the compressor was outside and happened to be below my landlord's bedroom window. And because most Greeks don't run their air conditioner all that much, they had their windows open almost all the time, even at night while they were sleeping, to save money. So when I was running the air conditioner during the day while I was working, and then at night while I was sleeping, it was really bothering them. So she actually complained to me, but I was like, I am paying for the electricity, so I should be able to run that when I want, and they put it there anyway. She really wasn't happy with it, so I really didn't want to deal with an unhappy landlord. I just didn't know, like, long-term, like, what that was gonna mean. So I decided that I would move out and try to look for a new place. The issue is that Naxos, up until this year, has become this very popular tourist destination, mostly for other Europeans, and a lot of the apartments have been turned into Airbnbs, and the people that own them want you to move out in June and July. No, not June, well, sometimes June, but definitely for July and August, and then you can move back in. But I don't want to have to move. I don't know where I would go in July and August because everyone wants you out. And then I would then have to move my stuff all the time, and I'm not up to packing and unpacking twice a year my entire house. I could never find a place for the whole year that I could afford in Naxos. Or the other issue was that a lot of places that I could afford were further out of town, so then I needed a car because in the winter the buses don't run very often in Naxos. It was just all around, it wasn't the greatest situation. So I made a decision that I would come to Athens and see if I liked living here. I came to Athens for about 10 days, and then I had decided to go to Spain for a couple of weeks, and that turned into like a 2-month trip around Europe. I have a whole blog post about this that I wrote, and it came out on Monday. I will include a link to the description box so you can read it instead of listen to me ramble on. And then, of course, I moved to Athens. I find an apartment, everything's going well, and then everything shuts down. Greece went into a very severe lockdown for, we went into lockdown on March 23rd, and we came out of full lockdown on May 4th, but on May 4th, nothing was still open. There were a few things open, but we couldn't really go in, there were no restaurants, there were no bars, so it was like you could really just walk further. Which was fine. At least I felt like I had more freedom then. But for 2 months, not knowing a soul, I was by myself pretty much. And the whole residence permit process got delayed. Anyway, it's taught me a lot about myself and Greece, and my level of patience has increased. And yes, I still worry about things. That's probably never going to go away because of my nature, but overall I've just become a lot more go with the flow, even more so than I was before. So that's good. Okay, so the part that I know most people are here for, because I get emails and Instagram messages and comments asking me questions about the residence permit process. So I'm going to give you an update. I went yesterday for my appointment. And I had made the appointment through a lawyer. Now, you don't have to hire a lawyer. That's one of the first things I want to say. You can do this without hiring a lawyer. I'm not 100% sure how you do that without a lawyer because I didn't do it. So the lawyer made the appointment for me, and we went down there, and I was not allowed to go in because of coronavirus. They're trying to limit how many people are inside at a time. So only lawyers or the people who are applying are allowed to go in. So I had to wait outside in the heat. Fortunately, they have benches and shade to try to help that. And I was waiting outside for about an hour. And then my lawyer came out and said, okay, they've accepted all your paperwork, and they've given you a temporary residence permit, which I have here, yay. For another year, but I need to be fingerprinted, so we did that, and then they need a few more documents before they give me the approval. It didn't seem like approving me was an issue. I'm still sort of nervous that they're somehow going to say no when they see the other documents, but they had the documents, they just weren't translated to Greek. That's my other advice. Everything, including your bank statement, needs to be translated into Greek. The lawyer's going to send that back to them by registered mail, and then they said within about a month I should get the permanent card, and then I have to go and make an appointment to go get the card because, again, they're trying to limit how many people go down there at a time, which is very smart. I applaud them for that. I get lots of questions about this, and the most recent questions that I've gotten are, what is the amount of money that you need for the financially independent visa? Because I will say that there are many types of visas. I am not here on one that allows me to work. That's the other question I get a lot is, can you work? No, I cannot work. On the financially independent visa, you have to have some kind of independent, passive, whatever you want to call it, income. I am using my savings as my passive independent income that I'm not having to work here in Greece. So if you have a rental, or like a house that you rent, or if you're retired, or you somehow invested really well in the stock market and you make tons of passive income that way, that is probably okay. I don't know how they're going to deal with remote workers yet, because when I applied, they were sort of but I know a lot of European countries are starting to accept that. So Greece is not always the most forward thinking when it comes to these things. So it may take them a few more years before they figure that out, but there are ways around that. So back to the amount. They want you to have 2,000 euros a month in your account that you can access in Greece. That's the thing that I would have to provide, is that they want to see that my ATM card lets me actually pull out money from a Greek bank, which I totally get it, because what's the point of having this money if you can't get to it? So I'm giving them an ATM receipt. No big deal. If you're bringing a spouse or your kids, that money is more. I'm not exactly sure how much it is. They give you like a percentage, and I don't know what those percentages are. Like, it's so much more for a spouse and then for each child. So if you're coming with your spouse and your children, you need to factor in that it's going to be a lot more than 2,000 euros a month. So yes, I can't work here. It's 2,000 euros a month. And I don't know if that 2,000 euros a month is for a year or for 2 years, because that's how much the visa, that's how long the visa is that I am getting, or the permit, sorry. I didn't go in, so I don't know if they questioned the amount in my bank account. I technically only have the 2,000 euros per month for a year, well, a little over a year in my savings. So I don't know. And I should tell you, the fee for this permit is 1,000 euros. That is much more than if you were coming to work here, if you were coming to be a student, or let's say you're married to a Greek person. The fees are a lot less. They recently changed this fee. It's much higher now, unfortunately for me. So if you have other questions and you email me, give me a few days to respond to you. I've gotten a lot of emails lately, and somebody emailed me and then they emailed me a few days later. It's going to take me at least 3 to 5 days, if not a week, depending on what I'm doing, to get back to you. Please be patient with me. If after a week you haven't heard from me, email me again. You might have a better, faster response on Instagram, but you can't ask me really long-winded questions. I just don't have the time, and it's not like I'm being paid to answer questions. I'm trying to be as helpful as I can, but it's like, there's been a few weeks in the last month or so where it's been overwhelming, the amount of questions that I've gotten, and I really want to help everybody. But please, I'm going to also link the old blog post about my visa. Please go read that. I don't know if I'll be writing a blog post on the residence permit process, because it's so different for everyone, and I don't want someone to read my post about my experience and assume it's going to be the same for them. I'm debating that. If I do, I will come back on here and let you guys know. So just give me some slack, because I have to work full time and do this and write and have a life. And I do want to help you all, but it does take me some time. So, and nobody's complaining. I just don't want you to think I'm ignoring you, because I'm definitely not ignoring you. Anyway, I think that's it for this week. I'm not really sure what's coming in the next couple of videos, because I haven't really made a plan, because everything is still up in the air with travel. I do know that I'm going to Egina on Saturday, but I'm going with friends, and that sometimes proves difficult to film when friends are around. We'll see. It may just be a walk around Athens vlog. I do have a friend coming on Sunday for one night. So it may be that I can film while I'm walking around with her. The other thing is, and if you've watched to the end of this, great for you, thank you. Somebody asked me to do like a day in the life video. Here's the thing, I work at home. So my day usually consists of me getting up, showering, sitting at my dining room table, drinking coffee, and then for an hour I stop doing that and I might go get groceries, and then I come back and sit at my dining room table for another couple of hours, and then I watch TV. So my day-to-day life isn't super exciting. I don't know if that's something that you guys are really interested in. If you've watched this far and you want to say yes, leave me a comment below and I will make sure that I do one at some point. Maybe when I know I'm gonna have an interesting day, I'll do it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and if you're subscribed, thank you so much, and if you're not, don't forget to hit that hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video.